Hey everybody, I am Howard and this is another episode of Otter's Corner where we discuss all things related to retirement. Of course, right now we are in open enrollment period for Medicare. And this is a time where people already on Medicare can make some changes if they'd like, or people coming up to Medicare can make some very important decisions. Now, if you're 5 years out, 10 years out, pay a little bit of attention. Start educating yourself. The whole idea here is education is the key to financial success. So the more you're educated, the better you're prepared you are to make some healthcare decisions right now. If you got to choose this year, I'm not going to walk you through every decision you're going to make. This is a very complex decision. I'm going to walk you through some of the things I do and what works for me. There's other YouTube videos. They're going to take an hour, hour and a half to really walk you through. You're going to have to ask questions. What I did and what you should do, read some books. Medicare for Dummies helped me immensely. Very basic, very easy to understand. Accept the fact that you're a dummy, that you're ignorant about Medicare as I did, and learn. Every year Medicare sends out books if you're on Medicare already. Or you can get them just prior to Medicare. The Medicare website is an excellent source of information. Unfortunately, getting somebody on the phone to ask questions took me 40 minutes to an hour, and then no follow-up. So understand that going in. All right, so before we get deep into this, please, people, subscribe to my channel, like my channel, share my channel, comment on my channel. The more you do that, the more this gets out to everybody, the more it shows up in everybody else's feeds. I'm in the early stages, obviously. It's going to take me time to build up subscribers and a viewer base, but help me out. Do that. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Okay, that aside. The basics of Medicare. If you have 10 years of work experience and you've paid 10 years of FICA taxes towards Medicare, you get Part A, and that's no monthly fee. It's there for you, no charge, and that pays for your hospital care. That's all it pays for. Then you have the choice, and it's really no choice. You really need to take Part B, and Part B is your physician and your facility fees if you go for imaging or surgery in a surgery center, outpatient work. That's the meat of what you do in healthcare is Part B. That's 165, roughly 164.80 a month right now. It's going up to 169 something for 2024. Everybody should have that. I have it. There's also something called IRMA, which is a income-related Medicare adjustment, if you want to call it that, where when you start Medicare, they look at your tax returns 2 years ago, and they charge you IRMA if you made more than a certain threshold. It's different for individuals, or if you're filing jointly, or if you're married and filing separately, there's a different threshold. They charge me 2 premiums above the 165. I appealed it, and there's a form where you can appeal it. I actually talked to somebody eventually. It took me 40, 50 minutes on hold to do that. They were supposed to follow up, never did, could never get them back. But what they came down to is I had to pay $77 a month extra. Is that fair? Well, I'm no longer working. I'm no longer earning a salary. My wife earns a salary, so I look at it jointly. Okay, it's fair. Yeah, it's what it is. So that could be a lot more. It was about $154 more for me, and they in essence cut it in half, so that was good. All right, so that's the basics of Medicare. Once you get past that, then the insurance companies get involved. And let's be clear here. Insurance companies suck. It sucks to work with insurance companies. We all know that. Healthcare, auto, home, liability, whatever it is, it sucks to work with insurance companies. Insurance companies control more money than banks in this country. All right? Understand going in, they're there to make a profit. Problems with them, but you also need them. Insurance is important. Just understand going in, it's going to be difficult to work with them at times. So here's your option. And let's forget about Part C right now, okay? I go with a Medigap plan or what's called a supplemental plan. And what that does is that pays for what Part B doesn't pay for. And Part A and Part B, they pay 80% of the expenses and you get 20% of the bill. Now, there's no cap on that, which is why Medigap's important. So if you have, cancer surgery or, heart surgery, you're in the hospital for a long time, that 20% could really add up. You could be paying thousands and thousands of dollars in copays. So to cover that, you get a Medigap plan, okay? There's many Medigap plans. The ones you'll hear about most are Medigap Plan G and Medigap Plan N. They're about the only realistic ones. I believe Medigap Plan G is best for me. There's two kinds there. There's a high deductible. There's a low deductible. I went with the high deductible. I'm rethinking that now, and I might change that. So what happens is after about $2,600 and some dollars in out-of-pocket expenses on my Part A and B, they start paying. They'll pay everything over that. All right. So once I hit that deductible, they'll cover all that. So again, if you've got thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in bills, once you hit that $2,700, you're covered. Okay. So I'm paying $72 a month for that. If you get a low deductible plan or a no deductible plan, the one I'm looking at right now is about $188 a month. Next year, after I hit I think it's about $2,800, it would cover everything on the high deductible plan. The one I'm talking about for $188 a month, it would pay everything after the 80% that Medicare pays. A little confusing. And again, that's why you got to get the books. I also have a Part D plan that covers drugs. All right, none of these cover prescriptions. So this is what covers prescriptions. I have, again, what would be considered a high deductible plan. I pay about $8 a month. I don't know that I'll ever trigger that. After a certain point, it'll start paying for your drug. It's extremely complicated. There's 4 different tiers of drugs. They pay different amounts depending upon the tier, how much you paid already. Extremely complicated. The books will help you immensely. All right? No one's going to explain this to you quickly. Understand what's going on, though. Okay, so I have A, B, I have a Medicare plan, I have a Part D plan. Here's what I pay every month is $322. My real experience right now through October with that $322, I'm spending about $400 a month. So about $78, maybe $80 a month do I actually pay out of pocket for. And I've had quite a few things. I've had knee surgery. I've had some other back and neck issues. I've gone to a lot of doctors for and had some work done. So it pays. It pays to have A and B. The insurances haven't kicked in yet, so I'm pretty good at $400 a month. I budgeted $500 to $600 a month, so I'm coming out ahead from what I thought I would pay. So as far as playing, it worked really well. All right, so now you could say, okay, and by the way, my Medigap plan is with Humana, my RT drug plan is with Aetna. Every state has a different plan. Every state has different charges. I'm in Florida. It tends to be a little bit more expensive because there's a lot of retired people here, as if you didn't know. All right, so instead of that, you can go with what's called a Part C plan, and it's called Medicare Advantage. And what you do is you sign up with an insurance company for their plan, and it covers everything. Covers hospital, covers physicians, everything that A, B, Medigap, and D plan covers, Part C covers. So you don't pay this to Medicare, you just pay them. All right. There's 0 premium plans. There's some co-pays with that. The difficulty with Medicare Advantage is they may not cover everything Medicare covers, and they may not let you go to your doctor because they have networks. So with Medigap and Part D, anything Medicare covers, they have to cover. So I never go anywhere where they don't cover it. Everyone I go to takes Medicare, so they have to take these. That's just the way it works. There's some coverage difficulties with Medicare Advantage, and you get into those fights. What's covered? You call them up and you fight with them. Hate that. Also, if they take your doctor out of the network, you're stuck. If you go to another state and there's nobody in your network, you're stuck with no insurance. So I'm not a big fan of Medicare Advantage. Sometimes it's more costly than it looks. I stay away from that. All right, that's a quick overview. Again, study this on your own, learn it on your own. understand what you're doing, sign up smartly. Don't forget December 7th is the deadline. Please also don't forget, subscribe, like, share, and comment. Comment. Otto's Corner, I'm Howard, I'm out. Talk to you later.